It's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
You want burgers, hot dogs, some chicken, and ribs? Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
What do you think Michael Myers would say if he could talk?
Ow. He's been shot. He's been stabbed. He's had a fucking like poker hit on him a bunch of times. He has been beat to shit this entire franchise.
He can talk, and all he says is
Just
ow.
You know, at the end of this movie today, he was supposed to say Laura or Lori. But
What?
Yeah, they were. Luckily, they cut that out at least. Oh my God, we are gonna. I feel like I'm going to get like crucified after this episode this week. Well, it's not looking good for me. But welcome to Night of the Horror File, a horror movie podcast where I take a horror movie or genre film and show it to my beautiful wife, Brittany. If you're just joining us, we go through all sorts of movies. And this month, being it October, we usually do a theme here. And this month, it's been 90s Slasherama month, which has been... It's been a blast traveling back to the 90s, really getting into these movies and really finding out I'm not big on them. I'm not big.
These are not your favorites?
These are not my I don't think this is my favorite portion of the decade. Like the 90s had a lot of great shit. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great stuff in the 90s. And I actually feel like the movie that came before today's feature was really spectacular. I believe in 1995, we got Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I still think that's a good movie because to me, this series is at its best when it gets weird as fuck. But what movie did we watch this week?
The stupidest name title. Halloween H20.
Halloween H20 from 1998. Yes, it is. Don't know what they were going for with this title.
Do you remember me asking you, like, does it have to do with water?
Everybody who hasn't heard of this movie always asks that same question.
Because H2O.
Yeah, H2O, water. Yeah, everybody usually asks that question.
I get it.
H2O means Halloween 20 years later, basically, is all that stands for. And I know what you guys are saying. You know, H2O is the seventh symbol in the periodic table of elements. And this is Halloween 7, technically. Well, maybe you guys weren't saying that. Maybe I just went fucking nerdy as shit right now. But,
that's a stretch, man. That is a stretch.
Yeah, you could have called it. The original working title of this thing at one point was Halloween 7, The Revenge of Laurie Strode.
That would have been so much better.
That sounds cool, man.
Yeah.
Because that basically describes this entire movie. But anyway, shit title aside. You all out there who think this movie is a golden child of the Halloween franchise are probably going to be absolutely you're going to hate me today. You're going to wish death upon me. And so there's that. But before we jump into it, before I mercilessly rip this movie apart, because this is a rarity, you guys. We are hitting a rarity in Leigh Evans' au revoir.
Right.
This is a movie. Now, I watched this movie and I have fun with it. I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
Right.
It's a bad Halloween sequel. It is terrible. It's not great. It was a cash grab at the very beginning, and I don't know what it is now. It has not aged well. But anyway, so before I mercilessly rip into it, just know I do enjoy this movie. And if you like a movie, that's great. If you hate this movie, cool. We're all having a good time here, and we're going to laugh. Okay? Just wanted to put that out there before I get death hate mail, because I did not know this until Halloween Kills came out this past Friday. I did not know this movie is like the darling of a lot of people.
They're like, I love this movie. Everybody's ranking all their favorite movies. This is like second and third on their list.
It is for some people. And it's really frightening to me because I'm like, oh God, you guys, that movie sucks balls. Because that's the thing. This movie rides this thin line between being a really good movie and just kind of sucking shit, you know?
I think there's just a few things that you don't like about it, but I feel like overall you don't hate this movie.
No, it's a good time. You know, I'm really like a lot of this I'm just playing up for laughs. So you guys enjoy that. But it really is a fine movie. I have no really big issue with it, you know. It's just but when I compare it to all the other sequels, it gets a little lower on the list for me.
Right. That's
just me. Like I said, if you love this movie, it's your favorite movie, that's awesome. You know, I say I'm going to mercilessly rip into it, but I can't because I love movies and it's hard to hate a movie for me, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't hate today's movie. It's just on the lower end of my totem pole of movies, you know? It's a movie.
It wasn't at the end of your list.
It wasn't. No, Halloween Resurrection is at the end of my list. And even Halloween Resurrection, as crazy as it sounds, I still enjoy watching. Just because that movie is just fucking stupid as ever-loving sin. After Scream's massive success in 1996, writer Kevin Williams was basically riding a gravy train, as we've discussed this entire fucking month so far. He's had his hands in everything, really, and even vicariously, like last week. You know, Kevin Williams wasn't really attached to that project, but his stank was all over that thing. But as we've found out, you know, his script for Scream basically turned horror and the slasher genre on its head. I mean, that screenplay for Scream and that movie really did just fucking just unleash the bowels of slasherdom onto us, man, because
Ew.
because this is what we've been turning out. And I gotta say, man, that's what these movies are now. That's what slashers have been since Scream.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons I kind of like Halloween Kills, because I don't know.
Because it's not.
No, it's not. It's a big fuck you to the fans, and I'm having a good time with it. But I am such a perplexing person, I swear, because everybody's like, but they did this and that, and it just spits in the face of the original, and I'm like, good, let the hate flow through you. Anyway, and another thing is the arguments that have been happening are getting really, really, really fucking silly, because this is the 12th movie in the Halloween franchise. We're on number 12. I'm not sure exactly what I mean, really, I was just going in hoping Michael didn't have a musical number. Anyway, off of Halloween Kills. This is not a Halloween Kills episode. Let's get to this. But, you know, of course, everyone was reaching out and they wanted Kevin Williams to kind of write their next hit. So he was in demand. I mean, Dawson's Creek and all sorts of shit at the time. Now, Dimension, who owned the rights to Halloween, the whole franchise, were trying to get Halloween back off the ground again. And yes, Dimension was a title started by Miramax, owned by the Weinstein brothers at the time, noted sexual criminals, the Weinstein brothers. I actually don't know if Bob Weinstein did anything fucking he's a piece of shit too, you know. Let's just lump him in with his brother. We can do that. I think he defended that fat fuck. just fuck him. But the Weinstein brothers, whether you like it or not, they knew how to churn out some fucking money makers. And that's really what we have today. This is a money making movie. So Williams wasn't the first approach. You know, a lot of people always say, oh, Kevin Williams, they sought him out to try to get him on this project right away. It's like, no, not really. That's kind of a misconception. Really, like, there was several people attached to this beforehand. You know, a lot of people wrote treatments to these. In fact, Daniel Farrens wrote an idea for the 7th installment while working on Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween Part 6. He called that one Michael Myers, Lord of the Dead. I'm making fun of it right now, the name of that, but it sounds like something that might have been right down my alley.
Yes. That's very true.
Yeah. But anyway, and then, of course, there was Halloween 2 Faces of Evil by Robert Zapia, which involved Michael Myers stalking women in a boarding school. And it had in that screenplay, it sounds actually pretty interesting. It had a copycat killer instead of actual Michael Myers killing people. So at the end of the movie, you'd find out it was this whole other dude. But, you know,
I'd be pretty mad if I watched that. Oh, yeah.
We'd be basically getting a Friday the 13th Part 5, you know, Roy's Revenge. It's not called Roy's Revenge. So that got changed. But Robert Zapia would stay on. You know, he would be the one that really wrote the screenplay. Now, Kevin Williams, his screenplay kind of went through a lot of changes. At one point, it was called Halloween Blood Ties, which featured the storyline with Laurie Strode, kind of what we got today, kind of the inklings of that.
Right.
Now, Kevin Williams wrote an entirely different story than what we get today, because he came in and started doing rewrites and stuff, and he wrote his own screenplay for this. I know, it's very convoluted.
What?
This took place over years. Took a while for this to get going, because 95 Scream. These movies might as well be Scream. # Michael Myers. But no, in 95 you had Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. It was either 95 or 96, and then in 98 you got this. So it took a couple of years to get this going.
Right.
You know, so I'm not just. It's not like over the weekend they did all this. But Robert Zapia and really did write the bulk of what we have today. And basically, Williams was on board for the dialogue.
Okay,
which
okay.
is painfully obvious in this movie. The quippy dialogue is all over this thing.
Oh, yeah.
So really, Kevin Williams, he might not be, he's uncredited in this, by the way, because what they wanted to do was when they put this thing out in the trailers and on the posters and stuff, they wanted to be able to say from the creator of Scream.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? To get that boost,
right.
Get people in the theaters faster, even though this movie made fucking gangbusters.
Right.
This movie was huge, but they wanted to do that, but Zapia didn't want to share a writing credit. So Kevin Williams is uncredited on this, but like I said, he had his hands throughout this entire thing, and he was I believe an executive producer. He was or a co-producer is what they made him on this.
Oh, okay. So they did make him something.
Oh yeah. He got credit for something.
Okay, good.
But you can definitely tell, you know, with the dialogue and stuff in this movie.
Right.
One of the most surprising things is that John Carpenter was approached to direct this.
Oh.
Yeah. And a lot of people have said, oh, John Carpenter straight up refused. Well, he didn't at first, even though I think he kind of did. I think he basically gave them a middle finger with this. Basically, what he asked for, he was like, I will return to direct if you give me $10 million and a 3-picture deal with Miramax.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And he justified that by saying he lost out on a lot of revenue from the original Halloween. And so this was his way of getting that back, even though I felt like it was kind of, I wonder if he did this sarcastically, because John Carpenter is known for not wanting to do any sequels to these movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hasn't really. He hasn't directed one.
Why?
Because he felt, we talked about it on our original Halloween episode, but that was fucking ages ago. Yeah. But when he did finish Halloween, he wanted to take it and turn it into an anthology series. You know, the first Halloween would end that story. There's Laurie and Michael in that first movie.
Right.
Then it would go on to a new story, and then a new story and stuff like that. You know, you guys are going to hate me again. I think that would have been better. Even though John Carpenter did come back and write the second one. Okay. That's why the second movie feels so much like that first movie. But this movie takes place after the second one. Mm-hmm. So really it's like Halloween 1, 2, and then H20. If you want to go. Halloween as a franchise is now a choose your own adventure. You have all sorts of different ways you can branch off if you want. The only thing that changes in the second movie, besides a body count and there's a hospital involved, is you find out he's Laurie's brother.
Okay, and I have a question about that though.
Okay.
So we find that out in the second movie, but like, did she grow up with her brother?
No, when he killed his sister when he was younger, she got taken away and put up for adoption, and the Strodes adopted her.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
In this timeline, which we'll kind of discuss, in this timeline, she's faked her own death.
Right. Yeah. I did know that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which they kind of covered in Halloween Part 4. because she dies. You find out that Laurie died in the beginning of Halloween Part 4.
Okay.
And it follows Jamie, her daughter. But in this timeline, Jamie doesn't exist. So, but she almost existed. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Because Williams wrote in his treatment of the screenplay, he wrote that in. He connected this movie to all of the movies. So he had that in there. But anyway, now, so John Carpenter sadly didn't come aboard, which I don't know if I'd be happy about that or sad. I don't know. I'm cool with Carpenter going on and doing other movies besides the Halloween franchise. You know, he sticks around for the paycheck, and as of now, he kind of he's scoring those new movies by David Gordon Green, and he's producing them. But also, maybe producing. I think he's hanging out at home and he reads the script and gives the okay. But
hey, that's perfect,
dude. John Carpenter right now is just sitting around smoking weed and playing video games.
Okay,
like I like that, John. I'm glad John Carpenter's getting paid and just getting the chill. That's
right.
where I want the horror master, just at home, smoking weed and playing video games and being safe.
Being safe.
Yeah. Anyway, what the Weinsteins did do, because obviously they nixed that fucking idea. They were going to pay John Carpenter $10 million. What they did do was bring aboard Steve Miner to direct. Now, Miner is known for his films Friday the 13th, Part 2 and 3, Warlock, House, and Lake Placid. He even directed a bit of Dawson's Creek as well.
Oh, wow.
I know. He's actually done quite a few comedies, and he did a comedy before this with Jamie Lee Curtis. So he's worked with Curtis before.
Oh, okay.
Now, Steve, I like Steve Miner.
Okay.
I think out of the Friday franchise, I think 2 and 3 are some of the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a lot of problems with Halloween H20. And none of them, I don't think they were Steve Miner's fault, because this very much feels like a producer movie. And when I say that, I mean the producers had their hands in every bit of it. They controlled all of it, because the stories you hear about the Weinsteins, that's basically what happens in these movies.
Oh, okay. They do that a lot.
Yeah, they do that a lot, and their music choices are pure shit. Anyway, so sorry. You guys are going to have a good time with this one, I feel like, because you're going to be able to hear me audibly rip myself in two, defending this movie, but also ripping it apart. Because it truly is. It's like two different shades here that I have going with this, where I like it, but also this movie sucks a lot of shit. And I'm going to explain why I think that. So without further ado, with all this in mind,
fucking finally.
Let's hop into Halloween H20 from 1998.
I love the way this scene starts with a knife in the air and then me stabbing you in the heart, and that's the whole movie.
Brutal.
Yes.
But Jamie Lee Curtis wanted to reunite the original cast and crew for this, but she didn't really get her wish. Her biggest stipulation, though, was that she wanted to end this franchise killing Michael Myers off once and for all, without footage of a sequel setup. She kind of got that, but we'll discuss how Mustafa Akkad, producer, he had a firm rule on not killing Michael Myers off. And I'll talk about why later. But so that kind of ruined her wish there. But you might wonder why Jamie Lee Curtis keeps coming back to this franchise. I mean, she famously isn't a fan of horror movies.
Right.
And she is a fan of her supporters, though, and she loves the fans of the series. And she said one time that, like, she wouldn't have the urge to continue acting if it wasn't for her early career.
Oh,
which thankfully, because she's turned out so many other good movies besides this series.
Right, right.
Yeah. But anyway, she has also stated that, like, this began with the best intentions, and she went into it gonna have fun and stuff like that, but then it kind of devolved into just doing it for the paycheck.
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
This guaranteed paycheck right there.
Yeah. I don't blame her for that.
No. So as I was saying,
Sorry.
I like the way that this movie, the scene, whatever, starts with a big knife in the air, and it goes shing, that makes the knife noise.
Yeah.
And it's just a woman carving a pumpkin and everyone getting ready for Halloween, because it's October 29th, 1998. Then we see the nurse from the first movie. What is her name?
Yeah, Marion.
Marion. I didn't catch that for some reason, and you told me, and I didn't.
I think they say it a couple times at this beginning, but they kind of drop it because Marion's little story here is just the prologue.
Right. So she pulls up to her house and she sees that her light is broken. So she goes over to the neighbor's house and knocks on the door, and then she runs into the neighbor kid, Jimmy, and his friend. She says that her house has been broken into. So they call the police, and then Jimmy says he's going to go check out her house.
And armed with a hockey stick, that Jimmy here, of course, is played by young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I think he was still doing Third Rock from the Sun at this time, and he had done a few movies. But our nurse here, Marion, is played by Nancy Stevens, who was indeed in the original Halloween from 1978, and in Halloween Kills, which is my new favorite movie. Just the tears of you all are just delicious. But anyway, as I said, Kevin Williams did create the story here, basically. And like I said, he's not credited for it, but he did a lot of the dialogue and stuff. And it's painfully obvious with this intro scene with Jimmy going in all flippantly like, Jimmy got suspended for playing with his hockey stick. I don't know. I'm just glad he dies here in a minute. But anyway.
You just got to tell everything.
Yes, there's so much focus on dialogue in this movie. Like a lot.
And I didn't do that.
There is a whole middle part of this entire movie that's just nothing but people talking at each other. Anyway.
I didn't go a whole lot into the dialogue.
That's okay. I think everybody's seen Halloween H20 by now, so we all know what we're talking about.
Right. So Jimmy goes inside and he has this hockey stick and he thinks he's so cool. Well, he steals some beer out of the fridge and he gets freaked out when an ironing board falls from the wall. Because those it used to like
that would fold out.
Yeah. And he like tears up the kitchen thinking it's someone in there. But he goes outside and says that everything is clear and he doesn't think anything's missing, just that her office is all torn up.
Yeah.
So she feels better and she goes inside the house and she realizes that the power is out. And she's looking around and she sees that her file on Laurie Strode is missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she hears something. So she looks around more and then we see Michael Myers watching her.
Yeah.
And then the back door swings open. So she runs out and goes back to the neighbor's house.
I will give this movie credit for especially this opening scene. I think they do good with just kind of keeping it a little creepy.
Yeah.
They do keep things a little creepy and stuff. It's just once you see Michael Myers, the creepy factor kind of just goes out the fucking window.
Yes.
But if you look on Jimmy's porch here, there's a statue of Butterball from Hellraiser just chilling. And I just wanted to point out Butterball. He's my favorite Cenobite. And if you guys know Hellraiser, you'll know what I'm talking about. Cool. Brittany's lost. You remember Butterball?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
yes.
The big fat dude with glasses.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. But like, I watched the movie, not the props. Okay.
I know. I watched the props. And I even see, you even get to see that picture of poor Donald Pleasance rolled out again for this movie. Even in Halloween Kills, I had a little bit of a problem with Donald Pleasance coming back. Can y'all just leave him alone? Can we just leave Donald Pleasance the fuck alone?
Apparently not.
Anyway.
So she goes inside and she sees Jimmy is dead with a ice skate to the face. Then she opens the door and the other boy is there with a knife in his back and he just falls on her.
And here's my first problem with this movie. I would have liked to fucking see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what they're doing here. They're trying to set it up as a shock.
Right.
When she walks in. But this motherfucker has an ice skate through the face. That would have been fucking cool. And you all have to admit, if we got to see some of these kills in more view, because we do kind of see some kills later, sorta. We get a lot of flash cuts away from him stabbing people and stuff. We get a lot of that. We get to see full on Josh Hartnett later on punching him in the fucking face.
You said it right.
Did I say it right? We'll
Yes.
discuss my problem with his name. But anyway, we're not to that part yet. But I feel like in the original 1978, they didn't have much gore or anything. But we got to see fucking Michael Myers strangling a lady on fucking screen until she was dead. Like, that movie's brutal. I don't think people realize for 1978, that movie was very brutal. And he fucking stabbed poor Bob to the fucking wall. Remember that scene?
Yes.
Yeah, he stabbed poor Bob to the wall. So I would like to see the deaths more. Like, it's 98. Let's get a little into it, you know? Because even in Scream, because this movie is very much trying to be Scream.
Right.
Even in that movie, you got to see some shit going on.
Yeah, because I was asking you, I was like, were they trying to like save their ratings or something?
Not really. It's rated R. That's the issue. I'm like, what is going on? Anyway.
So Michael shows up and he grabs a kitchen knife. Then the police show up next door at the nurse's house while she is fighting with Michael in the neighbor's house. And she's yelling for help, but they can't hear her. Well, Michael grabs her and she hits him with something and smashes the window, but he grabs her and slits her throat.
Okay, you do get to see that. That's pretty fun, especially because she's like, help me, goddamn. It's like, yeah.
So as the police are looking around outside, they see the broken window and they're like, oh, we got a 2-for-1, 2 breaking and entering.
Jesus Christ.
And then we see Michael drive off in the neighbor's car. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the next day they are investigating and talking about Michael Myers and how this nurse was obsessed with him because she had a bunch of newspaper clippings and stuff. And
now, actually, I don't know if you caught that, but that was Loomis's stuff because he lived with her for a time because she was taking care of Loomis in his final days. They kind of mention it. It's a real throwaway line.
Okay.
But basically, she was taking care of it. So all this stuff that you're seeing is all Loomis's clippings. Part of it feels like memorabilia, but
maybe.
And I've got this sketch of Michael Myers signed from 1978.
Oh my God.
Michael.
So one of the detectives says that it couldn't be him because he's dead. And then we get this long opening montage of the clippings.
Yeah, we go through all the clippings.
And all of that. And we hear Dr. Loomis talking about Michael.
Which apparently, so this voiceover here, they couldn't get the masters for Donald Pleasant's original speech from Halloween 1978 because that's what you're hearing over this, where he's talking about, I met a boy with the blackest eyes.
Yes.
Like the devil's eyes, which boy, those eyes are not black in this movie. I'm just going to tell you. No. Dude looked like old blue eyes just wandered into the fucking set. But so they obviously they couldn't get the masters from 1978. So they hired a voice actor to impersonate Donald Pleasance. And I got to say, he sounds more like Obi-Wan Kenobi than he does Dr. Loomis. It just doesn't sound like Dr. Loomis to me, but that's just me nitpicking. But that's not a problem I have with this movie, you guys, before you're like, okay, now you're digging. But this is Tom Kane. Now, Tom Kane, he voiced like Yoda from the Clone Wars cartoons, and he voiced a lot of like a lot of characters and stuff, and even lent his voice to the sequel trilogy to Star Wars. So he was a big voice actor for a while. This is one of his earlier projects. Sadly, he had a massive stroke, which kind of caused him to start limiting his roles, and eventually he went into retirement because of it.
Oh. So then we get the zoom in to this classroom. Well, it's not a zoom in. It's like
we're having a full-on Nightmare on Elm Street dream sequence here.
Yes. It's kind of weird. Well, the nameplate on this the teacher's desk says Carrie Tate, head mistress. And then we see the clock turn to October 31st. Then it flashes back to Lori in a closet, and then a knife through a picture on the desk of a boy. And then the board says Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
Even though this is Carrie Tate, I'm using air quotes, they can't see me. Carrie Tate's office.
Yeah, which again, I just feel like this is the wrong movie to have a nightmare sequence, but that's just me.
At least this is the only.
Yeah, you don't get this multiple times, which, well, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they should have done that more. Like more nightmare sequences and less her seeing him in a window.
Right.
That is a lot of this movie is her seeing him in a window, which, by the way, one of the jokes that Obviously the Weinsteins people shot this down, but one of the jokes Jamie Lee Curtis wanted in the movie, well, actually, I think the actor turned them down. But anyway, one of the jokes they wanted to do was she would like at one point see a reflection in the window and then turn around and Mike Myers, the actor,
Oh my
would
gosh.
be standing there. And I was like, I don't know. I would have laughed. That would have got a nice belly laugh out of me.
That's a little ridiculous.
It's kind of funny.
It's ridiculous.
But you may notice that a lot of the score in this movie sounds very similar to Scream. That's because it's literally from Scream.
How did they get the rights to this?
Well, John Ottman had, Dimension
Of course
Pictures.
you would have an answer to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I would. Why did you think I wouldn't know this? But Dimension Pictures also put out Scream. But anyway, John Ottman had scored the entire movie, but for some dipshit reason, the Weinsteins were not satisfied with his music and thought it wasn't dark enough. And they wanted more of a Scream vibe. So they literally stole the score from Scream and Scream 2 and put it in this movie. And also mixed it with the score from Mimic, which is another movie that John Ottman scored. Or I'm sorry, not that John Ottman scored, Marco Beltrami, who scored Scream and Scream 2 and Mimic. And they kind of just mixed it in there. So especially during the chase scenes, this movie sounds like Scream.
I don't know. I haven't seen Scream yet, so I don't know.
We will watch Scream. But the Weinsteins are responsible for one of the biggest what the fuck questions I have about this movie. And that's, why is Creed anywhere on this soundtrack? The only thing I can come up with was that Creed were really popular at the time.
Right.
Around 98, Creed were huge. And I'm not faulting them. I'm not even making fun of Creed right now. Because, like, good for them. They found a way to make a lot of fucking money off of Christian rock to the point where it was mainstream, man. That shit was mainstream. And it just goes to show you, man, I didn't listen to lyrics worth a shit when I was younger. Because I went back, because I had 2 of Creed's albums. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I liked Creed back in the day.
Right.
I thought they were pretty cool. And then I listened to them like recently for this episode. And I was like, wow, this is so Christian.
I didn't know that until you
it's insane.
just said that.
Because in this movie, at the end and during a party scene later on, we get what's this life for? Watching this today, it feels really fucking ridiculous, because why the fuck is a song about the Lord Jesus Christ doing in my Halloween movie?
Ooh, they're like, oh, we're still good Christian people.
I guess. But they insisted it be in here. The Weinsteins did. So here we are, having a 7th outing of an unstoppable shape with dark eyes. The devil's eyes. Wrapping up with Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking 90s, man. I swear.
So then we see Lori screaming because she's having this nightmare. And she's being woke up by her son, John.
Yeah.
He goes to get her some meds for her nightmares. I didn't catch this in the beginning, but the movie started in Illinois. Yeah. And then now we're in California.
This is one of the few movies in the Halloween franchise that doesn't take place in Haddonfield for the entirety. You know, like you said, at the very beginning in that prologue, it was in Haddonfield, Illinois. And but here throughout the rest of the movie, we're in California, which strangely, part 3 takes place all in California, too. There's no Haddonfield in that movie. And so like not a lot of those. I think Rob Zombie's part 2 is the only other one that doesn't take place in Haddonfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Lori and her son John are getting ready for the day and talking about how John isn't going to Yosemite with the school because it's like a school Halloween trip or something like that.
Why would she? Because we're going to find out she has a problem with this trip. Why would she schedule this? Because she's the headmistress.
Right.
Why would she schedule this on Halloween? Wouldn't you be like, okay, guys, we're pushing this to November?
Right. Why did she do that? I don't know.
Anyway.
And he tells her that her paranoia is inhibiting him, and he's now 17. So he's grown, he says, basically. What 17-year-old says inhibiting, but okay.
The ones that go to posh private schools like this one.
You're right. He says that he's earned this trip to Yosemite, and he says he knows today is Halloween, but they're through all of that. And Lori is just kind of plays it off like she doesn't know what day it is.
Yeah.
Bitch, we know. You know what fucking day it is.
This is Halloween. Come on now. But of course, we get Josh Hartnett in his first role here. What? What?
You didn't say it right that time.
I didn't say it right. How do you say it right? I'm confused.
Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett?
For me,
is this the new iron? Is this the new way I say iron?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Brittany has a problem with the way I say words. Hartnett.
Hartnett.
I'm gonna start calling him Josh Hairnet and just going on with it.
See, you even said hairnet better than you just said
God
Hartnett.
damn it. But anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis said he was like an actor who didn't want the celebrity attention. You know, he would wear a beanie in between scenes to kind of keep his own personality going, and he wouldn't really get too into character, which Curtis said she respected him for trying to keep that going, even though it was really annoying.
Well, it's his first role.
True, which I think the beanie kind of explains his hair in this movie.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What's going on with this dude's
I don't
hair?
know. They even make a joke about it too.
Yeah.
Someone
Like,
says something
I'm so
about
glad.
he needs to get a haircut.
Because LL Cool J gets him later on, and he sings him, which LL Cool J is the only other character I like in this movie.
Let's take a second and talk about how in the 90s, Josh Hartnett was like such a fucking like icon.
Oh, he was a heartthrob.
And
man.
everybody loved him. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know. He's so gangly and he looks greasy. And I'm like, he looks like he stays in the basement too long.
He's a basement dweller.
Yes.
And as much shit as we're giving him here with the hair and everything, that shit fucking worked. Like we said, he was a heartthrob at some point. People were crazy about Josh Hartnett. I don't even want to say his name anymore.
Okay, I'll stop.
God damn it.
Anyway, so John is with his friends and he says that he can't go to Yosemite and his friends are making fun of him, saying he will live with his mom forever. Maybe.
And right here, his friend Charlie makes the first of many Psycho references in this fucking movie. What's with that? Because he says, you're going to live with your mom forever and start a bed and breakfast or something like that, he says. And it's just like, what? Why are we making so many references to Psycho?
I'll tell you why later.
I just feel like I don't need to get beat in the head that fucking Janet Leigh is in this movie. I see her. I see Janet Leigh here.
They have to reference it all, okay? Scream.
And you're going and you're talking about the Yosemite conversation we have outside the school. I'm just over here sitting like, why is Michael not killing anybody?
Anyway. So then we see Lori and she's looking out the window. Uh-huh. And we see Michael behind her. But he kind of disappears. I think she sees his reflection. Yeah,
she keeps seeing his reflection. Like we said, she does that a lot.
Right. This is the first of many times. So John then sees his girlfriend and says that she says she's also not going to Yosemite. Charlie then suggests that they have a Halloween party instead that could lead to an orgy.
Which Charlie, buddy.
First of all,
I think Charlie wants to see his friend's nuts. I think this is the ploy.
That's a little weird. That's a little weird. His girlfriend, Sarah, who's in this movie in a little bit. I mean, she's right there in the scene, but she doesn't really say anything. Way too hot for him.
Jodie Lynn O'Keefe?
Oh, yeah.
She is way... What is she doing with Little Man Tate? Because, that's where this actor's from, is a movie called Little Man Tate. But what is she doing with this motherfucker? Right? This dude looks like a bird.
She looks like she's like 22, and he looks like he's like 13.
Yes. It's like, what is happening here? Right. But I feel like you got to give your mom Halloween, Josh Hartnett. You got to give her Halloween. You got to give her this day.
I thought you were telling me to give my mom Halloween.
No. But I feel like if this was your mom, you got to give her this day. Just this day.
One day.
Just don't be a dick on this day. Wait for it. You got 24 hours to get through it. You're going to be just fine. Because in this movie, and I think this is a big problem with with his character. In this movie, he knows exactly her past. He knows all about it.
Right.
Michael Myers and everything, which I think the more interesting route to take would be him discovering it like everybody else does. You know what I mean?
Did you say route?
Route? What now? God
You said
damn it.
it sounded like you said rote.
Route?
That's what it sounded like you said.
I probably did.
Okay.
Anyway. Let's not get stuck on my words.
You said it was all about dialogue.
Oh God. and so yeah, like I mentioned, you have Jodie Lynn O'Keefe, Adam Henbird playing Charlie, and Dawson's Creek's Michelle Williams as Josh Hartnett's friends, who I won't go into because they aren't characters.
Not really.
These kids are not characters. They're barely horny. Barely horny.
Right.
Which I don't know. Did the 90s, was that when it started where we couldn't have sex in our fucking slasher movies?
I guess so. Because there are no titties
nobody's
in this
doing
movie.
drugs. Nobody's fucking, like, not a single titty to be found in this movie.
No.
Sad.
That's strike number 2.
Yeah.
No titties.
That's, you know, no titties in this movie.
You should have had a strike list.
Speaking of which, there wasn't any titties in Halloween Kills. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Why can't I get drugs and titties in my movies, you guys? And some dong. I'm gonna need dong. You know what?
We're not seeing Michael Myers' dong.
Oh, that would be funny. He gets out, starts dancing with his dong flopping around. Oh my God, it's Michael Myers, and he's doing the helicopter.
God, the helicopter. What the?
Michael, no! Put your dick back, Michael! Michael's got his dick out! No!
Wouldn't he have to be like completely naked because he wears that jumpsuit? I just imagine him like in the middle of the road, just getting naked, so he can helicopter his dick.
This shit is
my
hot.
God.
This fucking jumpsuit is so fucking hot.
I know they're in California. He's got this whole fucking jumpsuit on. You know it's not. You know it's not cold.
How does no one smell Michael coming in any of these movies? Because he never takes a shower. So how do you not fucking smell this motherfucker? I don't see it. They don't show me him taking the shower.
But
although
it's
that
only,
would be funny.
But okay, this movie only takes place the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st.
Correct.
You couldn't go 3 days without a shower and still not smell terrible.
Okay, maybe.
But if you add in the jumpsuit in California weather, then yes.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The more realistic Halloween movie would be like somebody's just standing there doing something and they're like, what the fuck? Do I smell ball sweat? What the fuck is that? And then they get killed.
Oh.
That would be great.
Okay.
Michael, no!
They get teabagged and then
There
they
you
get
go.
killed.
Michael's teabagging everyone! The evil is teabagging! No!
The evil is teabagged.
Oh,
anyway,
shit.
I have to tell you something about Michelle Williams.
Okay.
I did not know that I could love a girl's lips until I saw Michelle Williams.
Oh, I had a thing for Michelle Williams back in the day, and I didn't
Her
even watch
lips.
Dawson's Creek. Like I just had a thing for her. So that was a selling point of this movie when I saw it in theaters, you guys.
In theaters.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I loved this movie when it first came out. It was like so fucking good to me. But yeah, I just think this is a case of a movie not aging well, and a lot of people are stuck in nostalgia. But that's okay.
I got you.
That's okay. But anyway, but I feel like this is not, there's no characters in this fucking movie aside from Laurie and Michael Myers and maybe LL Cool J later on. You know, those are the only characters I really like in this fucking movie. And Michael Myers kinda.
Right.
He doesn't feel like Michael Myers in this fucking movie.
You could have put anybody in this role.
Yeah, not just the mask, which we'll get to.
Right.
Holy shit, that mask. Not just the mask or the way he walks or anything like that. Just take that out.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't have the feel.
Right.
And I don't know what that, watching this 4 times for this episode, I couldn't exactly pinpoint it.
Well, okay, I have a question. Would you call like any of the other Michael Myers movies or Halloween movies campy? I feel like this movie wants to be campy.
It does. You're right. It does.
But it's not campy.
It wants to be Scream. It wants to be self-referential and have a little bit of camp to it, but it doesn't quite. It just can't get there because it's Halloween. Halloween does get kind of campy in some of those later sequels, a little bit. Just the slightest bit.
But it feels like this one wants to be campy.
I'd say...
It just isn't.
Yeah. I'd say, honestly, Halloween Kills is the campiest of all of these movies. And I think that's why I love it. But like, I feel like these movies are real... They're dull.
Right.
Like, I hate to say it, but like you watch... I can't watch the Halloween sequels back to back. I can't watch all these movies. Like, I can't do a whole marathon of Halloween.
Right.
Because it's just, it's the boringest thing you could do to yourself. Watching them out of sequence and stuff and having fun and picking and choosing, that's fun. That's fine. But it's just, to me, this is the dullest of the slasher series.
I have to tell you something.
Okay.
I just had a realization. I just used a horror movie term correctly.
You sure did. And I love you for it. And our audience loves you for it.
Almost 3 years in and I'm getting it.
You're getting it. You're getting it. It's
in
clicking.
My brainy thing.
You're getting this shit.
Fuck.
Moving on.
Fuck. You're just impregnating my brain.
Ew. Michael, no.
Oh my God. Then I just got a picture of Michael Myers skull fucking somebody. Okay,
they have tried, honestly, and I know this is going on a little long, you guys. It seems like we're trying to avoid talking about this movie, but like they have tried to incorporate Michael fucking so many times in this series, and it just I don't want Michael to fuck.
No,
I think that's the weirdest, and I love it when these things get weird, but I don't want Michael fucking.
No,
it's odd. Like,
it's a little weird
because then you just think of the mask. Just blank face Michael doing it.
Is there going to be sweat coming down from like the bottom of the mask?
This is so fucking hot in this. Why didn't you take off the jumpsuit? Well, I thought I'd just stick my dick through.
Anyway.
Gross.
So then we see a woman and her child on the highway. They stop at a rest stop to use the restroom. And then we see Michael Myers' car that he took from Illinois.
Yeah.
Well, they go into the men's restroom because the women's restroom is closed. And the kid goes into one stall and the mom goes into the other. And someone grabs mom's purse. And when she looks through the stall, she sees Michael in the little crack.
Yeah.
And the little girl is just humming away. And then she screams. So the mom runs over and the little girl just saw a spider. So whatever. But then we see Michael just stole her car.
Why are we having Michael's rob people's purses and
I
shit?
am very, very angry that he did not kill them.
Now, they make up for it in that 2018 David Gordon Green movie.
But I feel like in any other, because I haven't seen them, I can't really say that. But I feel like the reputation of Halloween movies and Michael Myers, he would have fucking killed them.
Well, he would have at least killed the mom. For some reason, they tried not to have him killing kids. Like, even though he's killing teenagers, which is kind of close to kids, but like he's not killing children. But in those 2018 movies, man, the very first one, he strangles a motherfucking kid on screen. Nice. He just strangles this little kid fucking to death. And I was like, oh, because you guys know me, as soon as there's kid death in the movies, your movie boosts up a notch because you had the balls. Right. But I don't like my Michael Myers stealing people's purses. Like, this is weird.
He could have just hotwired the car. And we wouldn't even need an explanation for him hotwiring that car.
I think it's the flaw that got instilled in part 2 of this series, which you find out he's Laurie's brother, and that his compulsion to kill is all based around his family. He has to off his entire family or something for some fucked up reason.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing of Thorn and stuff, but not in this movie. But anyway, when you find that out, it kind of ruins the character of Michael Myers, because I like Michael Myers as this just fucking force that you don't really know why he's killing people.
Right.
I think the biggest mistake that all these movies make after the second one, with the second one too, is they try to give him a reason for killing. And I think with this character, Michael Myers, it takes a lot of his fear away. I'm not scared of him anymore.
Right.
Because I'm not related to the motherfucker. So I could just skip town and be just fine.
Right.
And so I guess that's what this is here, because he's not going to kill them because he's not related to them.
I guess so.
But that's boring.
Very boring.
Boring. And I think the brother-sister thing really fucking ruins it. And these days, because everyone hated Halloween Kills and the people who really disliked that movie, now they're going back and saying, oh, the brother and sister thing was the most genius thing this series had ever done. And I'm sorry, you're full of shit. Because the same people who say that
movie. We're not talking about that movie.
But the same people who defend that fucking thing were riding that shit into the ground.
We're not talking about that movie.
I know. I'm sorry. Anyway, but what I really want to see though for this movie, there needed to be a spin-off movie of like, I want to see Michael Myers' road trip. I want to see the Myers road trip movie because he is driving from Illinois to California, which is a 30-hour drive. So we have a whole day and morning where Michael is on the road. I want to fucking see that. I want it to be like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like them driving down the road, but it's Michael Myers and I don't know, some hitchhiker. 10 miles out of Haddonfield when the drugs begin to take hold.
Like, Jesus.
You know, like just him going through the fucking, having to roll up the mask to drink coffee. I want the Myers road trip movie. I think that would be amazing.
Oh my god!
Somebody get on that. Everybody's making fan films. Y'all do that.
And how is he not exhausted?
I know.
A 30-hour car trip?
Like, I feel like...
And then he's just killing people? Maybe he's not killing people because he is tired. Maybe he's taking a nap.
He's like, I gotta save up my killing energy. I'm just going to steal his Lee's purse.
Yeah.
And I want to see him having to deal with that flat tire before they get there. You know? God damn it. There's not even a jack in the back of this fucking trunk. Oh,
and
Myers.
I was really wondering why he stole that lady's car. And the only explanation in my mind is his car ran out of gas.
Well, no. He has a flat. They kind of show it when they first intro the scene.
Oh, that's
see
what you meant by
tire
the
with
flat. Okay,
yeah,
that
I
makes
want to
sense.
see that. I want to see him struggling with the flat tire, getting pissed off. It's like, Myers, you done it now. Fucking flat tire. What the fuck? I can't change this fucking thing in this mask. Where'd I get this mask? but can we discuss the mask first of all?
Yeah.
Can we fucking discuss this goddamn mask? Because this is the worst mask out of the entire franchise.
Should I tell them my theory on the mask?
You tell me. I want to hear your theory, actually. This sounds interesting.
I think I said this on the Patreon.
You may have. Which, by the way, go subscribe to the Patreon if you guys want little tidbits of behind the scenes.
So it looks like a school project. Okay. Fifth grade. We're going to say fifth grader.
Fifth grade.
Seeing one Michael Myers mask. And he's like, you know what? I can fucking make this out of clay. So he rolls it out real thin, cuts out the eyeballs, but doesn't like put it up to his face to like cut out the eyeballs and measure it or anything. Just cuts them out. Too big.
It's like they're all fucking lopsided.
Yes. Sticks it on his face, puts a wig on.
I'm Michael Myers. I'm Michael Myers. You get to see me? I'm Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Like
just like that. That is this mask.
It looks terrible, you guys. It's too tight, first of all, in most scenes. But and they did have several masks while shooting this movie, which is actually kind of unique to this franchise because usually each movie has its own mask. This movie had, I think, 4 to 5 of them. Which is insane. And for some reason, and they kind of blame this on Steve Miner, but I feel like this is a Weinstein thing because Steve Miner doesn't, I don't know. I've seen his movies and he's very thorough. He does a good job directing. In fact, that's one of the things about this movie. I think Steve Miner does a fucking wonderful job directing this movie. It's a good movie.
Right.
For what it is. But but they decided while shooting, and I think this has to be a Weinstein decision, that they wanted a different look of the mask after they've already shot all these scenes. Now, supposedly, like I said, there were 4 to 5 different masks, but the biggest ones that you had were the K&B effects mask, a mask created by John Carl Bakler, which was made to look a bit like the one from Part 6, which Bakler also created that mask for Part 6 as well. And then a mask created by Stan Winston. How 3 titans of special effects came together and created the shittiest masks known to existence, I'll never know. But now the Bakler mask, that was used during the opening scene. And I honestly feel like it's the best one.
Yeah.
Because I
agree.
feel like Michael Myers in that opening scene looks like, I don't know, the face looks good.
Yeah.
Like on this mask. And the Stan Winston mask is the one you see through most of the movie. Now, that one is the one that's too tight to the point where you see his eyes and eyebrows. I don't want to see Michael Myers' eyebrows. You know, a little bit of the eyes is fine. You know, every
Right.
now and then when they shine a light at him, you see a little bit of the eyes in the mask because he's supposed to be a person.
Right.
So,
But when he looks down, or you're like seeing this like up angle at him, it looks like the eyes are not on right.
yeah.
It looks like the eye hole like goes over his lid and just shows like the bottom part of his eye. I'm like trying to do my hand like this.
And that's in some of those masks. I think
You know
that
what I'm
might be the
talking
Beekler
about?
mask you're talking about.
Maybe
because
so.
when that thing, I think it doesn't look as bad as the Winston mask, which is the one with the fucking eye holes are so wide and the mask is
Yeah,
tight.
yeah.
I'm seeing Michael Myers emote through most of this movie. He gets a nut shot later on in the movie, which is great. By the way, I don't even have a problem with the cartoonish violence that gets inflicted on Myers later. I have a good time with that, but he gets a nut shot and we get a close up of Myers reacting to a nut shot. I don't want to see that.
Why did I not catch that?
It's real quick. It's real quick. I'll show you.
Because I don't even remember
Yeah,
that
I'll show
happening.
you that. But like you get to see his eyes all wide open and shit because he just got kicked in the nuts. And I'm like, what is this? But anyway, now Jesus Christ. But anyway, the K&B mask is now that one is a little weirder. It's in long shots in the movie and mostly in the shadows.
Mhm.
And you can really see it in the trailer to this movie because later on there's a porthole scene where he's looking at the porthole and it's when Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers first they meet again and stuff. It's a really epic kind of scene. But like that's in the trailers. If you go look at that, you'll really get to see that K&B effects mask. And that thing is god awful. Myers has a 5 head. His hairline's all receded back too far. The eyes are too wide. So it looks like a fucking alien. Like look it up on your phone while I'm talking about this. It's the K&B mask from Halloween H20. Look that up and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, it looks like a fucking alien because it also has a color that's like bluish white instead of just the white mask. I don't know what they were going for. Yeah.
He looks like what's that clown?
I don't know. He looks
like Bozo the fucking clown.
Yes, he looks like fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost is Michael Myers now. He fucking it looks like fucking Robert Duvall walking around. I don't know. It's terrible. But anyway, I just think this mask is terrible. And I think it really ruins the character for me in this movie. Long shots and quick action shots are fine. But when you close in on Michael Myers' face in this movie, I'm not scared anymore.
Right.
And I feel like H2O is the least scariest of all these fucking Halloween movies. This movie's not scary. It's creepy in some parts.
Right. I sent you a picture and it looks like they contoured his face. His mask, I mean.
Now that
you see that?
That what you just sent me a picture of, that is the CGI mask. Now I know all of you are probably like, what the fucking CGI mask? Yes, there is a CGI Michael Myers mask in this movie. 1998 CGI. It is painfully obvious, and it's in the scene where Charlie gets killed.
Yeah,
Well,
I see that.
not on screen, but it's in that scene. And that's because I think now what I read was that they had the K&B mask in that scene, which they went back. And if you watch this movie, they went back and kind of took it out in some scenes because that mask looks fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they took that out in a lot of the scenes and replaced it with the Stan Winston mask. Well, in this particular scene, it was still there. So they had to overlay the Stan Winston mask onto the K&B mask. And it looks like,
gosh.
it looks like Michael Myers, the cartoon, walked out of the corner.
Yes. And not a good cartoon.
Oh no, it's fucking awful.
So Laurie's having an assembly with all the kids talking about the rules of Yosemite.
Yeah.
And the kids are talking about what they're going to do. John and his friends are talking about what they're going to do instead of Yosemite. Then Laurie is talking to the guidance counselor, Will.
Mm-hmm.
And they both say that they're not going. And then the secretary, her mom,
Yes, Janet, the fabulous Janet Leigh is in this movie.
she interrupts them and she's talking to Lori. And Lori and Will are just basically ignoring her. And they go into a room and they start making out.
And really, what would have made this movie better is if we cut to Michael Myers' road trip and he's just, he's fucking driving down the road in a convertible. One toke over the line, sweet Jesus.
What the fuck?
Oh, I'm telling you, that would have been a better movie. Just Myers' road trip. I'm sorry, you guys. So yes, the secretary is, of course, Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee Curtis's real life mom. I fucking love Janet Leigh, man. The Psycho, obviously, the biggest. But this is actually the third time they worked together on screen. Obviously, The Fog, which we did an episode of that. She's in that too, and in the same episode of The Love Boat. So, yeah, I think it was at the premiere or something of Halloween Kills. Jamie Lee Curtis dressed up as her mom from Psycho.
Oh, that's
complete
cute.
with the wig and everything. It looked great.
Oh. So this is where we meet Ronnie. Yeah. Ronnie the security guard.
Ronnie the security guard is the best goddamn part of this movie.
And his wife on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
She's hilarious.
You know what? I'll take a movie with just them. Just fucking Ronnie writing a book. Ronnie the security guard, the movie, starring LL Cool J. I'll take just that.
And Ronnie's wife.
Yes.
Just on the phone because we never see her.
Need. Oh, man, it's so funny. I fucking love it. I love this part because really the biggest point of levity is Ronnie the security guard when we get some of the scenes with him and his wife. That's the parts where the movie feels a little better.
Yes.
Where it's like, this is great.
Yes. So he's on the phone with his wife and he's reading a love story to her.
Yeah.
A love story that he wrote. And she thinks it's stupid. She says his writing career is unrealistic. I think we've had these phone conversations before. And not about your writing career, about this fucking podcast. So then Ronnie gets scared by John and Charlie. And John wants to leave. And Ronnie says no, that his mom will fry him for that. Yeah. And then his wife's on the phone. Don't you get fired for She's just bitching.
Oh.
But John finally convinces him to just open the gate. And they'll just sneak through and he'll never have to see anything.
Yeah, which this is the scene where he mentions, get a hair, fucking go comb your hair. and like I said, I don't like barely any of the characters in this fucking movie, except for LL Cool J here, man. I think he does a great job. I've never really seen a role that LL Cool J does that I didn't like.
Right.
Even, My Hat is Like a Shark Fin, Deep Blue, or what the fuck movie was that? Deep Blue Sea or something? Yeah. Deep Blue Sea, the killer shark movie, where he plays the cook in that movie with the bird.
You're talking to me like I've seen movies.
I'm sorry. You haven't seen and like I said, I like him more than all the other characters. I mean, because who do you have? You have the kids who are barely characters who are just set up for dead meat.
Right.
And then, except for John, he's kind of set up a little bit for something. I don't know.
Someone for Lori to talk to.
I guess so, because nobody else is talking to Jamie Lee Curtis in this entire fucking movie except for Adam Arkin.
And he barely talks to her.
He barely talks, and
he just wants her. He just wants to have sex with her. But
Adam Arkin is the blandest motherfucker I've ever seen. I do not like him
in all roles.
Yeah, I've never seen a role I really care about Adam Arkin in. I mean, he's okay. He does his job. He's acting here. It's not like he's a terrible actor. It's just I just do not care. I think he's just so bland,
right?
Especially in this movie, because the entire time, every scene he has with Jamie Lee Curtis, even their almost lovemaking scene later on, where he's just like, you want to talk about that?
He's supposed to be a fucking guidance counselor.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
He only has one good line in this movie, and I'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay, that part did. That part made me laugh a little. Yeah.
So Lori goes to have lunch with Will, and she thinks she sees Michael in a shop window again. She sees his reflection. They sit down to have lunch, and she tells Will that she thinks that she's losing John. And she asks Will if he will counsel her. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. He's like, but I am a good listener. Yeah. She tells him that she has been hiding something from him and she tried everything to recover. She says that one day maybe she will tell him, And also on this lunch, I'm just condensing this down because it's so boring.
Ooh, yeah.
But also in this lunch, so he gets up to go to the bathroom. She has a full fucking glass of Chardonnay. And she asked the waiter, she's like, I need another glass of Chardonnay. And he's like, okay. And she's like, hurry, now. Chugs this fucking glass of wine, switches the cups with him, and then when Will comes back, he doesn't know that she just fucking drank that glass of wine. What the fuck?
I can't,
You're a headmistress.
She is chugging liquor through this entire movie.
Yes.
And it's actually something I wish they explored more. Like, I know they're not trying to do fucking full on human drama with Halloween Part 7,
Right.
but like, I kind of needed more because her drinking problem, which is obvious in this movie, is kind of treated like, oh, well, this is how she's just dealing with trauma until she kills Michael Myers. Like, because they don't really talk about it really much. In parts of it are played like a joke.
Right.
Like, especially this part, which a lot of people have disagreed with me on this, that it's not a joke. I feel like it is.
But I think back in the 90s, this was life.
True. I guess we weren't talking about drinking problems in movies very often.
No, because we were more worried about crack.
What?
I don't know how to explain it. Like, drinking was so drinking in the 90s was so like not taboo.
I'm sorry. You threw me for a loop. Michael, no, put down the crack pipe. No.
Rude.
I'm so sorry. No, I kind of get what you're saying. It wasn't as taboo as a subject as it is now. I feel like it kind of was in the 90s. It's just we weren't handling it in the right way.
Because there was crack. Which was
crack has been in circulation for decades.
I know. But it was such a big thing in the 90s that a lot of people were doing crack.
I think I get where you're going with this. I think it was we were more worried about drugs in the 90s than anything else. You know, we weren't worried about
the word drugs. I'm sorry.
We weren't worried about pills and fucking alcohol, really. We were more worried about marijuana and the DARE program. But sorry. That was good. But anyway, I just feel like they kind of play it off as a joke, though. I did, even though I appreciate it. but she's dealing with this character is dealing with crippling trauma. And the only reason we know this is because she's chugging alcohol and she keeps seeing Michael Myers' reflections. Right. And the one nightmare.
The one.
Which, by the way, you got to appreciate this movie opening kind of with a fucking scream from Jamie Lee Curtis. Because
that was so funny.
I appreciated
You started
that.
watching this before I had watched it, and I couldn't see the TV. And she was screaming and screaming. I was like, shut the fuck up, Laurie Strode.
Best scream, I think, in The Businessman.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis has the best scream because it's one of those screams that isn't annoying.
Right.
Like,
I agree.
It's good. But anyway, I thought they could do much better. And they'd kind of do a lot better with those David Gordon Green movies because when they pick up in those movies, Laurie's life is a fucking mess. It is in shambles. And a lot of people have been like, oh, they don't go into it enough. And I was like, I don't know. You can kind of see it. Because her family doesn't particularly like her at the beginning of that movie. But anyway, but in this, it's just, I don't know. It's just more, just kind of like Mama needs her wine is how I feel.
Right.
You know.
So John and Steely. Oh my God. Fuck.
John and Steely Dan.
Oh my God.
We just cut back to the Myers road trip. He just picked up John and Steely Dan.
I didn't want me to say that. So John and Charlie are stealing wine and they get caught by Laurie. Well, she doesn't know they stole wine, but whatever. So anyway, sorry. Laurie sends Charlie to the car and she starts yelling at John and she says he can't wander around town on Halloween. She says she wants him to be responsible and he just starts yelling back at her saying he isn't responsible for her.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right.
I kind of get with it. Yeah.
And then he says that Michael is dead and that this is over. He says it's been 20 years and he would have shown up by now. And he doesn't want to be dragged along anymore in this little charade.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, whatever. let's get in the car. And they drive off.
Yeah.
So first of all, she's chugging fucking wine. Then she's like, let me drive you and your friend back to the school.
Mama's going to drive you back to the school.
She didn't say it like that. Thank goodness.
Oh my God.
But then as we drive away, because we're driving, as they drive away, we see Michael's car that he stole.
Yeah, so Michael finally made it out of his Quentin Tarantino movie, his road trip movie, and made it to the fucking California.
California.
He probably listened to that on the way.
Was that song even out at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 98. But all this middle part just kind of drags, honestly, for me.
That's why I
Just
kind of
for me.
zoomed through.
Yeah, it just kind of drags for me. And normally I'm okay with this type of stuff, but we are cooling our hills for a long time when Michael's on his road trip. And I need more of that. But I'm not really saying it's boring, but it's just, I don't know. I guess if you cut it out, we'd only have like a 50 or 40-minute movie.
Right.
So I understand. But I'll give this movie an A for at least keeping you engaged during the thing. And the runtime on this thing is blissful.
Yes.
It's under, what is this, an hour?
It's only an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah, it is so fucking blissful. We live in an era where it seems to be illegal to make a movie under 2 hours long. And I don't need my slashers getting 2 hours in length. I don't need it.
No.
Because then you start padding out that fucking runtime. And speaking of runtime, Jamie Lee Curtis has said as far as she's concerned, the movie starts about an hour and 9 minutes in when Laurie tells everybody to fuck off and gets in a one-on-one with Michael Myers. And I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I feel like this movie does not start until Myers confronts Jamie Lee Curtis. I just nothing there for me. If this movie does it for you, though, it's all good.
So they pull up to the school and Michael drives by them. Well, Laurie yells at Ronnie for letting the boys out, and Ronnie calls her a psycho as she drives away. What the fuck? That's your other reference to Psycho.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So Molly, John's girlfriend, she's doing dishes at the school.
I forgot her fucking name was Molly.
Her name's Molly.
Been calling her Michelle Williams through this whole thing.
Well, she's like doing dishes at the school or whatever.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck? Well, she yells up and tells them not to send any more down from this little elevator thing that goes from one floor to the other. But it comes down anyway. When she opens it, it's a dozen roses with a hand-drawn map. Mm-hmm. So Molly follows the map and makes her way to a romantic table set up by John. John says that he hasn't ever really celebrated Halloween before and that he has to focus on what is right. And he says Molly is what is right, and she has his full concentration. Hold on.
Okay.
Who romantically celebrates Halloween?
Can you romantically celebrate Halloween? I mean, Halloween, to me, Halloween is fucking. Like, I don't know. It's the night of sex and demons and fucking worshiping Satan.
We're going to sacrifice a goat while we're fucking. Okay?
Yeah. You get dirty on Halloween.
Right.
Everybody's dressing in slutty nurses' outfits and all sorts of shit. But also, what is this? Is this a storage room in the basement or something? Because it's like,
some kind
I don't know.
Basement area. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're trying to burn this fucking school down because they light like a gazillion candles later on.
Right.
So I mentioned how Michael Myers was almost not the actual killer early in the episode. That's now in an earlier draft, Charlie was going to be the killer at the end. Charlie, our orgy meister, was going to be the killer. He would have been revealed to be a copycat killer wearing the Michael Myers outfit, which, by the way, I'm glad it didn't turn out like this because little man Tate is tiny in this movie, and it would have been really funny to see a tiny little Michael Myers running around. But anyway.
Little man Tate.
He would, again, he's from the movie Little Man Tate. That's all I know him from. But it would have been revealed that Charlie was the offspring of a nurse raped by Michael at the sanitarium. And again,
what?
Again, thank God we didn't have to go this way. Because I don't need Michael Myers fucking. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Freddy Krueger. We got rapey. We already got our rapey slasher. We don't need Michael being rapey. But that movie would have been titled Son of Michael Myers, you guys. You see? You see what we could have? You see what...
Anyway, I just really soak that in for a minute.
Yeah. I don't need Michael Myers fucking.
No.
It's weird.
No.
It's too weird. It's too weird. I like weird. But that's too weird.
Right. So Molly and John are in a class that Laurie is teaching, and Molly looks outside and she sees Michael in a doorway. And she gets freaked out for a second.
Which I didn't like that she sees him.
It should have been John.
Yeah, because I feel like they loosely connect the whole John turning 17 and Laurie being 17 when she first encountered Michael Myers. They kind of loosely connect that and kind of drop it.
Right.
Like as soon as it comes up. But it should have been John because Molly seeing it kind of sets her up as maybe being a main character.
But she doesn't know who
Like,
this is.
Yeah, because you're like, whoa, maybe, she's like going to be kind of like the new Laurie or something here. No, that gets dropped immediately. And through this class, they kind of half-assed do a job of that, but they really try to tie Frankenstein in with this fucking whole movie.
Right.
Because the whole thing, they're talking about fate and how Frankenstein has to, confront his monster at the end, and that Laurie has to confront her monsters, I guess, to keep from drinking so much vodka. But I don't know. It just seems half-assedly done.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Molly gets called on, and then the bell rings, and Molly looks back, and Michael is gone. Mm-hmm. Laurie asks John to stay after class, and she gives him a permission slip to go to Yosemite. Now, he's in a pickle because he doesn't want to go to Yosemite, but he tells Molly he isn't going.
Right. And again,
we didn't need that.
I don't think we don't need any of this. The whole point of this is just to give Michael Myers someone to kill.
Right.
With this whole subplot of him trying to go and she's not letting him and stuff like that. But my thing is, you should have just kept the kids at the school and had Michael Myers go through and slaughter a bunch of people.
Or
would have boosted this movie for me.
Or if Laurie really wanted to save herself from all of this shit, she should have just gone to Yosemite with them.
And Michael Myers hasn't killed a damn motherfucking person through this whole thing, by the way.
Not in an hour.
There's not a lot of slashing in my slasher, you guys.
Right. Laurie goes to watch the buses leave, and she gets scared by her secretary. She says that she has seen Laurie like this before, and everyone has had something bad happen to them. But the trick is to concentrate on today. Okay, wrong time to say that, lady.
Concentrate on Halloween, dearie.
Laurie says thank you, and then when the secretary says happy Halloween, she gets a little freaked out.
Yeah, and again, it's Janet Leigh, so of course she exits to the Psycho theme song, by the way, and gets in the actual fucking car from the original Psycho movie. Which, you guys, I get it.
We get it.
I get it.
She was in Psycho.
Janet Leigh was in Psycho. I understand this.
Was this the only movie she was ever in?
No. Janet Leigh had a wonderful acting career. A lot of her, off the top of my head, I can't think of one besides Psycho at the moment, but I have seen a lot of Janet Leigh movies, and she was a wonderful actress, so I don't understand what... Like in The Fog, they didn't fucking play the Psycho theme every time Janet Leigh was on screen. It wasn't like she was like... Because she even talks about the showers being clogged up. In one of these scenes when she talks about that, I'm like, stop with the Psycho references.
Right.
I'm watching Halloween. Don't remind me of a better movie. Don't remind me of a better movie when I'm watching the 7th Halloween movie.
They kept telling us to turn this off and go watch Psycho.
Yeah, because they even showed the kids later on watching Scream 2. I'm like, again, don't remind me of a better movie, you guys. Stop. But anyway, I mean, it's kind of neat that she exits. I don't know. I still kind of like it. That's the thing. I'm torn because this movie's good and at the same time it sucks shit. So just like with Urban Legend last week, I want to clarify because it sounds like I fucking absolutely hate this movie, but I don't hate Halloween H2O at all. I do, however, think it's the hottest of the hot garbage of the sequels, and trying to defend it like it's this great work of art that everybody is trying to do is fucking insanity. Yes. I don't know what y'all are doing. Like, I feel like everybody could be happier as soon as we admit this is hot garbage and we love it for that.
Right.
Like, I just think you'll be happier. But on the flip side of that, again, it's okay to like a movie and it's okay to hate a movie. Don't attack each other. Right. I'm seeing a lot of that over Halloween Kills. People are getting
We're
nasty.
not talking about that movie anymore.
But people are getting nasty. Okay. People are getting nasty. with
The
Halloween
nasty.
Kills because like people are insulting each other. Just stop.
So the buses are headed to Yosemite,
Mhm.
and then we see Michael's car headlights go on, and he heads towards the school as the buses are heading away from the school.
Mhm.
Ronnie, in his little security booth,
Ronnie's back.
yes, he's reading another story to his wife over the phone, and Michael pulls up, and when Ronnie goes to check to see who it is,
Mhm.
there isn't anyone in the car.
Which Michael is doing a little hide and seek thing with Ronnie here, and I'm not, because you think, oh, Ronnie's gonna get it,
Right.
but I don't know if Michael's just stretching or whatever because he keeps popping up in windows behind Ronnie, just watching him. Like, what is going on? Kill him.
Right, just
Kill
do
him.
it.
You haven't killed anyone in at least 30, 40 fucking minutes. Like I said, there's not a lot of slashing in my slasher, you guys. I'm going to need a little bit more slashing. And so, like, he's just fucking popping up behind him in the windows, and you think Ronnie's going to get it, and ultimately he doesn't. So I was like, what is he fucking stretching? Is he too stiff?
from
Did
that
he
long
hear
drive.
some of the romance novel, and he just wanted to kind of, he's a
He needs
completist.
more.
Michael Myers is a completist and just wanted to hear more. This is really good, Ronnie.
Because he really could have offed
complete
Ronnie
this.
right
yeah,
here.
Yeah, he's like, you should really. I don't care what your wife says. This is really good stuff. Really good stuff. I've been on the road for 30 hours. I smell like complete garbage. Where's the showers?
Anyway, so when Ronnie turns off the car, Michael walks directly behind him and into the gate. And when Ronnie goes to check on the phone, the line is dead, and he goes back out to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lori's leaving for the night, and she sees Michael, and she keeps closing her eyes because she thinks she's just seeing things.
Yeah, another hallucination.
Right, but he keeps getting closer to her, and then Will pops up and scares her. Well, they talk for a minute, and they're going to meet up later.
Yeah.
Well, Will goes to check on the kids that are staying there at the dorm.
Uh-huh.
So he goes to check on Molly and Sarah, Charlie's girlfriend. And they say that he's asking him what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And Sarah's like, we're going to go roofie dudes and have a date rape evening. What are you? They're like, you want to come along? And this is the only good one.
Yeah, he gets a laugh out of me with this
He's
one.
like, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to go get my nipples pierced. I just imagine. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen, what the fuck is his name? Adam Arkin. I don't think I've seen him in anything where he wasn't wearing a suit.
Yeah, and he wasn't bland as shit.
Yeah. So I just imagine him going to get his nipples pierced, and he has to unbutton his little suit jacket and like
He's probably
his button.
He's probably got fucking flame tattoos under there. I could have used Will having a little bit more of an oomph to his character in this movie. He's a counselor. You should have made him a hippie or something. Just give him some kind of, any kind of fucking personality. That's all I'm asking for.
And I don't see Laurie's character being with anybody that didn't have some kind of fucking personality.
Well, okay, so they do mention, she does mention what did she say? She's like, she was with somebody and got divorced and stuff like that.
John's dad.
And she said something about him being on drugs or something.
She was like, he's a gun wielding something methadone addict.
Which so maybe she went to boring ass Adam Arkin out of that, so maybe that's an okay character choice here, but god damn though. He is 50 Shades of Beige in this fucking movie.
Oh
man.
my god. Then as John is sneaking in, he thinks he hears something and he gets freaked out. But doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything, just sneaks in the window. Laurie's home alone, and she's getting lit before Will comes over.
She chugs a fucking full glass of vodka.
But that bottle she has, is it one of those ones with the handle?
What? Oh, I don't remember. It was a big old.
It was huge. I think it was the one with the handle.
Yeah, she's drinking straight Stoli, and I'm sorry, you swishing a little bit with some mouthwash. That's good. You reek, Lori.
Right.
You just drank a full glass of
It's
vodka.
probably sweating out of her pores. She just smells like vodka.
Fucking just smells like a brewery in this fucker.
Well, Will comes over, and Laurie tells him that she isn't who he thinks she is. She tells him that her real name is Laurie Strode, and I call her Laurie throughout the movie, but to him and everybody else, her name is Carrie Tate.
Yeah.
She tells him more about the story, about her sister dying, and Michael and all this stuff. And he says that he knows about the Michael story. And when she starts talking about it, she said that her sister died, or that Michael killed her sister.
She goes through the whole backstory and real quick, which, by the way, one of the things I don't have a problem with this movie is Jamie Lee Curtis's acting.
Oh, yeah.
She does this scene great. Like, she tells this story, and at the same time, she's trying to be flippant about it, but also you could tell she's just fucking bearing it all for this guy, which, by the way, he mentioned earlier he's a good listener, but he's trying to get it wet through this entire scene.
The whole fucking time.
and what the fuck is Adam Arkin chewing when he's kissing on her? It's the grossest fucking makeout scene I've ever seen, because he's like...
Maybe it's candy corn.
What the ew. Like, chew, swallow, and then make out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, she like put the candy corn in his mouth and then started kissing him.
We got a sexy candy corn scene in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
What the sexy candy corn?
Ew.
Ew.
I'm not sharing my candy corn with you like that.
Meanwhile, I just want to see what Michael's doing, you guys. I'm not getting enough Michael Myers so far, and I just need more. I need more. He just got the directions to the shower from Ronnie, so he's obviously showering it up, I assume with the mask on.
Directions from... Because he didn't kill him.
Yeah, he didn't kill him, so obviously he was just trying to find the showers. Like you said, he smells like 30 hours of swamp ass. So he's showering with the mask on, obviously. You know, you got to. And just soaping up. I want to see him trying to shave the mask.
Oh my God.
But that's the thing. I think that's the biggest problem I have with this movie. It just doesn't feel like there's enough Michael Myers in it.
Yeah.
I feel like I see Adam Arkin's stupid
I was about to say that. Less Adam Arkin.
Less Adam Arkin.
Whole lot more fucking Michael
You could have
Myers.
cut Adam Arkin's whole scenes and just had me some Michael Myers road trip killing. Like, just kill somebody.
Someone.
I mean, we're about to get some deaths, but goddamn, are they fucking boring.
But do we see them?
It's like half-ass caused by Michael Myers.
Right. She's telling the story, and then she all of a sudden freaks out because this is that reference to being 17.
Yeah.
When this all happened and stuff, and realizing that John is 17. Blah, blah, blah. And she freaks out, and she wants to know where John is. So she goes to call, but there's no phone service. Then she notices that John didn't actually go to Yosemite.
Yeah.
Because his bags are still there. So she grabs her gun, which is under her pillow. I do not think that's a good idea for an alcoholic.
You see this a lot in movies where people put guns under the pillow. I don't think that's safe for anyone. Like,
especially an alcoholic.
Like, what if you have some night terror? I mean, we saw her thrashing earlier with the screams and everything. What if you have some night terrors and blow your fucking ear off or something?
Just for moving around.
I think you should worry less about Michael Myers and worry about where you're putting your guns.
But she is going to go find John.
Fucking Michael Myers finds the gun under her pillow. Oh, Jesus. You're just sleeping with this? Just loaded?
Dumbass.
God damn.
You're not my sister.
I'm surprised you're still alive. Like, that would be funny. He just arrives and Laurie's already dead from an accidental gun wound. What would he do in that situation? Like, it's just fucking Michael Myers took a 30-hour road trip to go kill this lady. He gets there. She's already dead. What the fuck does he do then?
He grabs her gallon jug of vodka and just fucking downs it. Like, no glass.
Michael Myers goes on a California bender. He's surfing. He's having pie slices on the fucking beach. Surfing Myers, man. Surfing Myers. That's what I need. Halloween 8, Surfing Myers. Just fucking Myers hanging 10. Whoa, dude.
The 10th movie is called Hang 10.
Somehow the fucking hair has grown out of the mask more and he's dreaded it.
The 10th movie is called H10.
H10.
They're like, people are like, that stands for Halloween 10. No, it doesn't. It stands for Hang 10, you dumbass.
Surfing Myers, Hang 10.
Surf into a screen near you.
Oh, better movie. Better movie.
Anyway.
Okay.
So they go to leave and they run into Ronnie. And he says there's a strange car parked by the gate, but he can't find anyone. And Laurie wants him to try and get the phones to work.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he controls that power company.
Mm-hmm.
He controls all of that.
Ronnie. I love Ronnie. I need more Ronnie.
Yes.
Less
yes.
Adam Arkin, more Michael Myers, and more Ronnie. You
Right.
know what? That could be Hang 10. That could be Surfing Myers. Ronnie, LL Cool J, and Michael Myers go to the beach together and they're surfing. They're surfing buddies. Maybe they rob some banks. You know, they get in shootouts. Oh, wait. Oh, that's just Point Break. I'm just saying Point Break with Michael Myers and LL Cool J.
Nice.
Fucking LL Cool J has to shoot at the sky because he doesn't want to shoot Michael Myers.
Oh my God.
I didn't shoot him 6 times.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so if you're new to the show, this isn't where I was going.
Surfing Myers, I'm sorry.
No, Michael. That wave's too bodacious.
Bodacious. Oh my God.
I quit.
Does
I
he wear
fucking quit.
Does he wear a Speedo?
Yes, he has to. And guess it's
Does he wear
Halloween
it-
themed.
Does he
It's
wear
got
it over
pumpkins.
his jumpsuit?
Better goddamn movie. I fucking quit. I quit.
It's a jumpsuit, but it's not jumpsuit material. It was wetsuit
Fucking
material
wetsuit.
with the Speedo over the.
Oh my fucking lord. Oh god. Oh god.
Anyway.
Oh.
Ooh, anyway. So, like I was trying to say,
Okay.
if you're new to the show, I do
Uh-huh.
this thing sometimes in scenes and movies where they split the scenes up
Yeah.
and they go back and forth. And I do them all with this set of characters and all with this set of characters over here
Yeah,
to
yeah.
put them all together because it
This
gets
is all
a-
intercut.
right.
Because at this point in the movie, we're trying to rush things along
Right.
to get to the good 40 minutes of the movie.
So I kind of just put it all together
Uh-huh.
to make it make sense, and it's easier than feeling like I'm jumping back and forth.
Yeah. Because the slasher movie is about to begin finally.
Finally. The movie's an hour and 25 minutes long. This is the last 20 minutes.
Yes.
I promise you that. So the kids are there and they
Mhm.
cook a bunch of food in the kitchen at the school, and they have these like million candles lit. Who took the time to do this?
Like I said,
don't fucking know.
Like I said, I don't need to see it, but it's just the fact.
And they're like in the basement of the school or something.
Yeah, like I said, it looks like a fucking janitor's closet or something. I don't know.
It doesn't look safe to have all these candles lit.
No, they're gonna
No.
burn this fucking school down.
Well, Charlie goes to get a corkscrew, and when he doesn't come back fast enough, Sarah, his girlfriend, goes to check on him. She finds him, but they still need a corkscrew. So he goes to look upstairs, and he goes into that little elevator thing. I wish I knew what the fuck this thing is called.
It's a dumbwaiter.
A dumbwaiter. Okay.
Yes. Which, by the way, he's getting in this dumbwaiter, and he's going up, and the whole time I'm like, oh, I wouldn't trust that dumbwaiter, man. That's not good.
No.
And I'm like, oh wait, I weigh like 300 pounds. Of course, I wouldn't trust the dumbwaiter.
And fucking, what do you keep calling him?
Oh, little man Tate.
Little man
Yeah,
Tate
little man
weighs
Tate.
like
Yeah,
105.
you could pack him in a suitcase.
So he goes up there and he finds a corkscrew and he drops it in the garbage disposal. And here I am fucking screaming as he's like reaching into this thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh my God, he's going to get his hand chopped off. Oh my God, he's going to fucking
And
get
now
his
Jamie
hand
Lee
chopped off.
Curtis really did kind of come up with the idea that he would reach into the thing and get his hand lopped off and he'd come up with a bloody nub. But Steve Miner thought it'd be more dramatic or more, I don't know, a little bit more tension if it didn't. Because the whole time you're expecting him, maybe
Oh,
Myers
okay, I
is going
guess
to
that
come.
makes
Because you see
sense.
Michael Myers at this point.
Right.
In the
He's
room.
behind him.
Yeah.
So when Charlie turns around, Michael is there and you literally see it into his eyeball. Like they shoot the camera into his eyeball. Why?
There's a few scenes like this where I'm like, I don't get what you're doing other than in Scream they did it. Like literally anything that's a little out of place in this movie,
They did it in
they
Scream.
did it in Scream.
Oh my god.
Which I could just hear the Weinsteins. Well, they did it in Scream. It's like, fuck.
This isn't fucking Scream.
Yes, I know.
So Sarah opens the elevator to check on Charlie and she sees that his throat is cut.
Which again, I would have liked to see it.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see it.
Yeah.
It would have been better there would have been a better scene if we thought he was going to get his hand cut off and then we see him get his throat cut. That would have been cool.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
So then, as she's looking at Charlie or whatever, Michael comes up behind her. She is forced to take this elevator up to get away from him. And as she's closing the door, he cuts her leg. So she goes to the top and Michael cuts the rope as she's going out of the elevator. So it smashes her leg more.
And I think that this is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, so far we're doing
because you see
good.
like bone and guts and stuff. And it's like
it's kind of neat. Her
dangling on
legs
there.
dangling. That's fucked up. Yeah. So I enjoy this. We're getting there. But this technically wasn't caused by Michael Myers. He did that on accident. So
because he wanted to make her fall, but she had already started.
But that happened. Which, by the way, I had a problem. I had a big problem with the way Michael Myers moves in this movie. Just a little bit, just slightly a problem. I think he does pretty good overall. The stuntman who plays him is Chris Durand, which he's a pretty good stuntman. But the problem I'm having, and again, the fucking Scream shit. He played Ghostface in an uncredited part in Scream.
Okay.
So he's kind of moving a little like Ghostface in this movie. And that's not how Michael Myers moves.
No.
At least not in, I don't know, man. Because there's a part later on he leaps out of the side of the fucking shit. He's lowering himself from roofs. There's too much nimbleness to him.
Right.
You know, because I feel like Michael Myers, and I agree he's a little nimble in the older movies, but he creeps and he kind of appears in spots and stuff. But I don't know.
He's very rigid.
Yeah, he runs a little bit, but it's almost like he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Like if you hit him or not. And so I don't know. And you got Chris Durand walking like he has to take a dump in some scenes. Like the part where he's walking at Lori earlier when she sees him and thinks it's a hallucination. He's walking and this jumpsuit's baggy, which, by the way, the jumpsuit.
Oh my God.
Why does it look like it's been pressed and cleaned?
Right.
Probably because he just got out of the shower. Maybe he also pressed this. Yeah, you gotta look good to kill Lori tonight.
And then why do I imagine him standing under one of those hand dryers to dry his fucking suit?
Goddamn, it's taking a while. For the most part, later in the movie, it's just fine, except for a few scenes, but I don't know, just something seems off.
So John and Molly hear something and they go to check it out. And Sarah is dragging her almost severed leg when Michael shows up and stabs her a bunch of times.
But we don't fucking see the knife.
No.
We don't see it.
We don't see any
of it. We don't fucking see it.
But why does he stab her so many fucking times? I don't know.
Again, you feel...
Not that I'm mad about that.
Well, you feel weird about it because you hadn't seen him kill anyone, really.
That's true.
That's the issue, is you haven't seen him kill anyone, so when you're seeing him kind of kill someone, even though we're cutting back and forth and away from her getting stabbed, even though, man, you know what would have been great? Would have been more effective if he just... Because he steps on her. Mm-hmm. But like if he stepped on her and he just kind of just pushed the knife in, you know, just one stab and it's over, but that would have been effective.
Right.
But no, we don't get to see that.
So John and Molly see blood leading to this closet thing in the kitchen area, and they open the door and Sarah's there hanging.
Which, when did he have the time to lay out the bodies? Because, you know, in the movies, for some reason, by the way, and no one ever really touches on this in these movies, but like for some reason, Michael Myers loves decorating.
Right.
Like he's doing crafts through most of these fucking things, and he's laying bodies out in all intricate ways and stuff. And I don't know how I feel about it, but he does that a lot. But but usually they give a good span of time before you see his body decorations,
right?
And they don't here. It's like a split second, really. Like, so it's like, how did he have the time to fucking do all this?
I have no idea. Well, anyway, so they turn around and they see Michael standing there. So they run and go outside, and they stop and make a plan to run to the dorms and call the police. Mm-hmm. But before they can run off, Michael just grabs Molly by her hair. Like, oh, fuck, that hurts.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever been grabbed by the hair? Oh.
I have not. I've not been grabbed by my hair.
It is not a fun experience.
Oh, I bet not.
So then Michael stops John, and John stabs him in the leg. With what? I don't remember. Did he grab a knife?
Once it hits about right here, it's fun. Like the movie becomes fun, like with all the action and stuff like that. It's not quite scary, but there is a lot of tension.
Oh,
and stuff.
John doesn't stab him in the leg. Michael stabs John in the leg.
Yeah. Okay, we got that
I'm
wrong.
sorry,
We got
I got
that wrong.
confused for a minute.
But it does become fun here, and I do agree. Like,
Yeah.
from here on, like the movie's a blast. Like
Yeah.
if I could just have had this through the whole thing, it would have been fun.
Anyway, so Michael has stabbed John in the leg, but Molly grabs a rock and smashes Michael in the head with it.
Mhm.
Then John and Molly are running to the dorms, and Michael is coming after them, of course. And Molly has keys to this gate that is in front of the door to the dorms.
Yeah.
But she's having trouble because she's freaked out. She finally gets it open, but she drops the keys as she closes the gate. And she's trying to reach for them. She doesn't reach them, and Michael takes them from her. Well, they can't get in that second door without the keys, and there's just this little space between this gate and this door, and they have nowhere to go. And they're yelling, and they're like banging on this door.
Which, like I said, thrilling.
Right.
Like now the movie's picked up.
Right, because Michael has his hand as far as it'll go with the knife, and he's trying to like stab them if he can, try to get to them, and they're just enough away to not get hurt.
Right.
So he grabs the keys, and he's trying to find the right one to the gate, and this is where Laurie opens the door.
With something about Michael Myers shuffling through keys trying to find the right one cracks me up. I don't know why. It's not a problem with this movie because he does this kind of shit and other things, but it's just funny. I'm trying to figure out keys. Why is there so many on this fucking ring? What the hell's wrong with you people?
Right. So Laurie opens the door. They go inside, and she slams it quickly. But now she is face to face with Michael, as you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Just with the door in between them and this big like circle window. And this is where she goes to pull out her gun, and then he's just gone.
Which it's a very effective scene. I actually really do enjoy this scene, no matter if Michael Myers kind of looks like a dipshit. The fucking eyes, man. You just see too much of the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, in little certain scenes would be fine, but you're seeing way too much of this motherfucker's
You're seeing
eyes.
into his non-existent soul.
Yeah, it's...
So anyway, Laurie shoves the kids into a room and tells them to barricade themselves inside. And then Will asks what they're going to do. She says, try to live. Okay, give him some more advice, okay? Like, what?
I mean, really? What other advice do you have?
Get a weapon? Run? I don't know.
I don't know, because Will ends up being the most useless person in this fucking movie because he does get a weapon, but as you're going to go into.
He's so stupid. Anyway, they're walking around looking for Michael. And Laurie tells Will to leave, and then as he's telling her to leave, or as she's telling him to leave, he sees someone. So he grabs the gun, shoots it a few times, and they run over to see what he shot at, and it's Ronnie. It was not Michael.
And the whole time you're like, God damn it, Will.
Because he's missing.
You shot Ronnie, the best character.
Yes.
Now you done fucked this whole movie up.
So as they're tending to Ronnie, Michael stabs Will in the back, and then he just lifts him in the air.
Best kill of the whole damn movie.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get to see the whole thing. I could have used maybe a cut to that knife going through something, but that's fine.
Right.
You get to see the whole thing. But the problem being is the best kill in the whole damn movie is a repeat kill from part 2.
Oh,
So
no.
you've seen it before.
Oh.
So I've seen this several fucking times. In fact, in part 6, they do it again. Like, we get obsessed with him lifting people up by the knife in these earlier sequels, especially in like Resurrection. We get obsessed with the stabbing to the wall thing. They repeat that kill. And I'm sorry, don't repeat the kills of the better movie.
Right.
Because then I just want to go watch that movie. But it is good. I mean, I got to give it credit because it's fun. Like, especially to see Will just get fucked up.
Fuck yeah.
Because he's doing the whole seizure thing and shit. He's shaking. And it's just like...
I'm so happy that he's finally fucking
it's like,
dead.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I killed Adam Arkin. I guess that's
God.
good. Let's go fuck this guy.
So Laurie goes to run and hide, and she distracts Michael, and she hits him in the head with a fire extinguisher. She grabs John and Molly and makes them run out.
Which, by the way, the fire extinguisher part gets a good laugh out of me because what she starts doing to him is like Looney Tunes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm having a good time. I don't know what it is.
She's trying her
She's
best
kicking
here,
him in the
okay?
nuts. I think later on she stabs him with the California state flag, which cracks me up. Just good shit.
So they run to the car and barely get away, but they have to stop and do the gate. So Lori tells them that she wants them to drive to the neighbors and call the police. Then she smashes the gate code thing so the gate won't open. And then she kicks the thing. I don't know what this is
She
called.
kicks an axe where the fire axe is being held.
fire
She
axe,
kicks the
yeah.
fucking glass and takes it. And like I said earlier, you know, the movie just started, everybody. Everybody get back from the shitter, sit down, because Michael Myers and Laurie Strode are going to hell tonight.
Hell yeah.
So this is what y'all came for. And I understand why they saved it to the last. I get it. But I just could have used more of this feeling through the entire movie.
Right. So she stands in the street yelling Michael's name, like taunting him.
Yeah. And by the way, she told the kids to get the fuck out of here, which I love that part. I'm enjoying this so far because it's like, get the fuck out of here, kids.
She's taunting him and he doesn't show up. He's like, yeah, fuck you, Lori. So she goes inside. Well, they eventually find each other and she hits him with the axe and he slices her with the knife. So Lori runs to hide again, and she hides under these tables. Like, they're just not card tables, those long tables with table.
There's just shit. It's almost like card
tablecloths over
tables.
them.
Yeah. I also really enjoy this scene. This is fun. Like, especially the part, I don't know. It's a cool shot where he's throwing those tables and there's stained glass windows behind him. That's fun.
So she hides under one of those tables and Michael's walking on them and swinging at her. I do not like this. Those tables would have fucking buckled.
That would have been so fucking funny. He gets up. Oh, fuck.
Have you ever tried to stand on one of these tables?
Again, I was worried about the dumbwaiter. So no, I've never tried to get up on a table like this and stand. I know my weight.
I have stood on these tables and they are very wobbly. Even the like brand new ones, very wobbly.
Oh God.
So he's like swinging at her and stuff. Well, she ends up grabbing a flagpole and stabbing it through him. The California state flag.
Yeah. I don't know why I think it's so funny. It's fun. It's fun, you guys.
So she runs to the kitchen and just starts throwing knives at him.
Man, one sticks to the fucking wall. Look,
Right.
wait, it is Die Hard with Michael Myers in this last part. We're having all sorts of fun with action.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But she's missing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just blindly throwing.
And I think that that is one of the things that makes this some people's favorite of the Halloween franchise is the fact that you do get this fun ass action scene between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Because let's face it, that's all Halloween H20 is.
Yeah.
It's all about her facing off with Michael finally. And it's like she's getting her revenge from that very first movie where she was more the helpless person. Now she's kind of like almost on equal grounds with him,
Right.
fighting him. So I understand, this is pretty much probably what is the payoff for people.
So Lori finally grabs a knife and stabs Michael until he falls off of this balcony. She just keeps stabbing him and he's walking backwards and he falls backwards off this balcony. Well, she goes down to where he is and she's going to stab him again. But then Ronnie's there.
Ronnie's alive.
He's not dead. And he stops her and he says, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Stop.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you're a dumb motherfucker.
Ronnie, goddamn it.
I liked you.
I know you and Michael are about to hit the waves in a little bit, but
That's my friend.
that's my friend. Don't stab him. We got a whole series of movies to star in together.
So the police come, but Ronnie's on a cell phone. And you know what my problem with this is? They needed this cell phone the whole fucking time. The whole time they needed this cell phone.
They could have checked him for a cell phone earlier.
He could have used the fucking cell phone.
Why? What?
What the?
Why was he talking on the landline if he had a cell phone?
Minutes, man. He had to wait till after 9 o'clock.
That's true. You had your anytime minutes, man. You couldn't just fucking be talking on those motherfuckers.
That's why he's on the phone, his cell phone now, because he didn't have the minute. He couldn't call the police because
you ran out of anytime minutes. Fucked up. Which maybe this is a Friday. I don't know. Like, who knows?
Anyway, So he's on the cell phone with his wife saying that he's going to write a romantic thriller.
Which means Ronnie got a character arc, you guys. So there you go. Ronnie, besides Laurie and Michael Myers, Ronnie's the best character in H2O.
Oh, yeah.
He gets a whole arc.
Well, Laurie sees Michael being loaded into the coroner van, and she grabs this cop's gun and the fire axe. She takes the van and drives off.
Yes.
And she's just waiting for Michael to wake up because she knows he's not fucking dead. She knows.
Oh, yeah.
He wakes up and unzips this bag. So when he kind of gets up, she slams on her brakes. So he flies through the window.
Again, dude, so much action. It's so fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah.
So when he stands up on the road, well, she's waiting for him to get up and she's going to hit him with this van.
Uh-huh.
Well, that doesn't work because he just fucking hangs on to it.
Yeah.
The hood or whatever. So she drives off of a cliff. And they roll, and they roll, and they roll.
She shoots out of this motherfucker and everything.
Yes. And he's smashed between the van and a tree. So Laurie grabs the fire axe and goes to talk to him. And he reaches out for her. So she reaches her hand out, and they're having a little truce moment
or something.
Because he's dying or whatever.
It's like, I still haven't got to ride the waves.
And Laurie chops his head off.
Which got a fucking standing applause in the theater I was in when I saw this when I was like 9 or 10.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it was so fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You see this motherfucker's head get fucking cut the fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen much violence through this whole movie, so that was a buildup right there. And you see his fucking head rolling to the ground. And the best thing, it just fucking ends right there.
Hell
man.
yeah.
It ends right there, fucking credits. It perfect ending, right? And it should have been. But no. Now the original, well, first of all, the original ending that Williams had thought up involved Michael getting into a bus and a helicopter chase, and a helicopter blade would have cut his head off, and I don't know, maybe that would have been cool. I think that's a little too much action.
That is way too much.
We don't need Speed 2 Michael Myers. Speed 2, The Revenge of Michael Myers.
Oh my gosh.
It was just cans. Anyway, but it sounds fucking bug nuts. I'm sure I would have loved it. But ever since the original reception, and this is more about what Mustafa Akkad had in a clause when you did a Michael Myers movie. Ever since the original reception of Halloween 3, because people famously fucking hated that movie back in the day because no Michael Myers, you know.
Right.
And ever since then, Mustafa Akkad had that clause where Michael cannot die.
Okay.
You can't kill off Michael Myers. And the problem is, you know, some people have said that Jamie Lee Curtis found out after the fact, but really that's not true. You know, she knew he wasn't actually going to die this whole time. Okay. But her stipulation of staying on this movie was that you showed no hints of him surviving this. Like, you just ended it. And they do.
Right.
First of all, in the prologue of Halloween Resurrection, which came after this, not long after this too. I think 2001 this Resurrection came out. But in the prologue of that, you find out that Michael Myers put the mask on a paramedic, crushed his vocal cords, somehow not killing the man. And that's who Laurie cut his head off.
Because he had fucking time to do that.
I guess so.
With all the police around and all the
because Michael Myers becomes a criminal mastermind in Resurrection. But anyway, so he does that. And they had actually filmed that prologue during this. So this was all pre-planned. And Williams kind of came up with the idea of the paramedic because of the clause. So it was kind of punched together real fast. Ugh. And there is a scene right before she cuts his head off where he like comes to and he grabs his mask and looks all confused. And some people have said maybe that's a hint at that, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure. I don't know if you can crush someone's larynx and have them still be alive. I don't know too much about biology, but then again, we're talking like 8 movies deep into the Halloween franchise, so you don't really need logic. So it doesn't bother me too much.
Right.
But still, I don't like that they negate this amazing ending we get here. Now, Halloween H2O would go on to be the highest grossing film in the Halloween franchise until 2018. It was released on August 5th, 1998, which it was a summer movie.
Weird.
I don't release your Halloween movie within the month, please. But anyway, it was a summer movie for some reason, and it cost $17 million to produce and make, and it grossed a total of $75 million worldwide.
Dang.
Halloween H2O, I don't know if a lot of you remember this, but Halloween H2O was a fucking event. This was huge. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't fucking sauce packets at Taco Bell tie-ins to this thing. The Michael Myers sauce. Ew. Myers sauce. That sounds disgusting. Anyway,
You didn't have to go there.
I didn't. I think I threw up a little. But anyway, reception was pretty good. And like I said earlier, it was amazing to see this in theaters. And I had a great time. The audience cheering and stuff during certain scenes and everything. I love that when audiences get real worked up in the movie you're watching.
Yeah.
You can tell they did something good. However, I loved it back then. Revisiting it now kind of felt like a chore. And I'm sorry if this is your favorite movie, I apologize, but it's just not, I don't like it now. It's not great. I will say I do have fun with it.
Right.
It is a fun movie to pop on and watch. It is a brisk fucking hour and 20 something minutes, man. The runtime on this makes it a movie you can watch whenever.
Right.
And I think that's really the main appeal of this. It's easy to watch. It's easy to consume. You're not dealing with all this fucking Thorn nonsense and druids and shit that the fucking Halloween 6 and shit dealt with. So it's great. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's just at the same time, it very much sucks shit.
Okay.
And of course, again, you cannot hold any of these sequels, even the David Gordon Green movies. You cannot hold them to the original movie. I don't think that's right to do. We're talking sequels. We're talking 12 movies deep into these motherfuckers. Stop holding them up to the original movies. And I get it that they keep mentioning the older movies, so it's a little impossible not to think about that 1978 masterpiece, but you kind of got to.
Right.
You kind of got to let it go. It's never going to be the same. You're never going to recreate John Carpenter's Halloween. It's never going to fucking happen. It's almost a perfect movie. You can't fucking recreate it. So just have fun with these sequels. That's all you need to do. It's a slasher movie. We're talking slasher. We're not talking Schindler's List.
Right. Because
everyone's acting like they created a sequel to Schindler's List. It's confusing. I don't understand my own fandom anymore. Now I kind of understand what Star Wars people must be going through. But anyway, enough about me. What did you think about Halloween H2O from 1998?
I liked it. I liked it just fine. But I also have not seen all of the movies.
And I like it. I have a good time with this movie. Yeah. It's just, it's not good. And to sit there and hold it up like it's this fucking amazing movie. It's not. It's a bad movie, you guys. It's a good movie, but it's a bad movie. Like I said, you're going to hear me audibly rip myself in two in this fucking episode. And I think I have effectively.
I didn't have any problems with it. Even the middle, when he's not killing, it didn't seem, I guess because everything happened so fast, because it's such a short movie, it didn't seem boring to me.
It wasn't boring. That's the best part. And that's the biggest, like I always say, that's the biggest thing the biggest sin a fucking movie can commit is being boring. Right. And I don't think it is. It drags a little in that middle part, but the payoff's worth it.
Oh yeah.
I like this movie. I just don't think it's as good as some of the other sequels. I feel like it's the hottest of garbage, and that's fine. That's one of the reasons I like it.
I just have to watch more to be able to put it in a rank.
Yeah, I get it. You can't rank these movies unless you've seen them all.
Right.
And who knows, maybe you'll be one of the people who thinks this is the best.
I don't know.
I kind of like when these movies get really fucking sucky, and they get really shitty.
Yeah.
And then they just stop caring. You know, like I said, with Halloween Kills, that was one of my
We're
favorite
not
things.
talking about that movie. Jesus.
I've been trying not to. And
Stop
I hope I
sucking
didn't.
that dick.
I love that movie. I love that movie because it's just like, hey, we're going to get fucked up with this fucking movie and we're not going to give a shit about lore. The story? Where's the story? Fuck you.
We don't need no stinking
We don't
story.
need no fucking story, you assholes. Enjoy Michael killing everybody. He's going to kill all the people. Enjoy, you fucking assholes. Oh, it's delicious and I eat up your tears. Anyway, so that's Halloween H2O. Again, it might have sounded like I hated this movie, but I actually, I like it. I love it. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, if this is your favorite movie, kind of sound off. Let us know what you like about it. If you hate this movie, let us know, man. I love hearing everybody's opinions about movies.
Oh, yeah.
Just stop fucking fighting with each other. It's achieving nothing.
It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Pointless.
You're not going to change anyone's mind. So
Right.
stop trying. Just have a nice discussion. You can have lovely discussions. All the movies I love, Brittany probably hates. And we have wonderful discussions, and none of us are trying to stab each other.
Well,
Well, you know, certain things. You know.
I'm always trying to
Yeah,
stab
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how to get away with it.
that's true. Anyway.
But I've admitted it too much on here.
I know,
so-
right? Now I have a roadmap. So if I come up missing, we know what did it.
What?
Yeah, we know who did it.
You said what?
What? Oh, shit. But anyway, so next week, what do we... Oh, man. Next week, it's the last episode of 90s Slasher Month, and we're going for the king of the 90s slashers.
Hell yeah.
The late 90s slashers. Like I said, we're doing a very specific set of slashers here. We're doing Scream, man. We're hitting it. This is one of our most requested movies to do.
Really?
And I didn't want to do it for a listener request month because I was saving it for something like this. So we're actually going to do Scream and we're going to get to talk about it. So
Yes.
so we're going to have a lot of fucking fun, I think, with that one.
I think it's hilarious that you thought I'd seen this movie.
I really thought you fucking did. I
I've
don't know
seen
why.
that opening scene.
I think it's because everyone's seen Scream. Everyone.
Not me.
The thing is, even people who weren't fans of horror movies, they enjoyed Scream. That's
Right.
what's crazy because it does transcend, fandoms and stuff like that. It's easy to digest. Scream
Right.
is it's good. It's a good movie. But anyway, until next week when we head to Woodsboro, I'm Leigh Evans. Stay spooky.
And I'm Brittany. Stay horrific.
No, Micah! Put your dick back! Nobody wants to see that! No!
Thanks for listening. To get a hold of us and submit your stories, fan mail, and death threats, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and nightofthehorrorfile.com. Our theme song was written and performed by John Brennan, used with permission. Find John at shopjb.bandcamp.com and at badtechno.com. If you like what you hear, leave a good review wherever you listen to podcasts, and share the show on your social media. See you next week.